I'm the Virgo Queen, here to awaken the divine consciousness. I do Mother Peace Tarot and astrological readings, and this weekly weather forecast is for the collective consciousness for October 17th to October 23rd. And so when I first look at a reading, I look at the heart of the matter. And the first card is Seven of Wands. And seven is an inward, and wands is passion. And this is saying that we are speaking from our inner convictions. That, well, this past weekend of this powerful full moon in Aries has made us truly stand up for what we desire and how we want to create our life to come. Because in the atmosphere, we have the Fool, a major arcana. So we're coming from a place of true rebirth. This full moon in Aries, also with the planet Uranus in Aries, the planet of surprise and eruption and change. Well, Aries is a cardinal sign of fire and so much about our independence and going out for our true vision and standing for nothing less. And so there's also this stubbornness and this fight that we feel that we had to surrender to this past weekend. And so now we're coming from this place of stillness in a lot of ways and contentment in knowing that we now have the strength and the power to move forward. Because in the cross current, we have Ace of Wands, and Ace is a gift, and Wands is passion. So much of what we put into this past weekend is manifesting. We are changing the way and our vision, and now we are receiving the gifts that we put forth. And so all of these cards are what's going on in our internal world. So we have so much fire and so much to be grateful for as we continue into this week. Because in the root, we have Eight of Cups, and Eight is about change, and Cups is our emotional world. So this full moon, there was a lot of completions, and a lot of relationships were put to the test. And a lot of times, it's mostly the relationship with ourselves. Having to sit down and face those fears, having to sit down and feel those old traumas. Uranus is also the planet of long-term trauma. Trauma that has, well, not even probably occurred in this lifetime, but past lifetimes that we're not even consciously aware of, but it affects our conscious world. And so perhaps we were faced with big tidal waves or big dragons that came to show its face and dance with our shadow. And so we are experiencing this emotional depth. And a lot of times when we have to go and face those big fears, sometimes we need to take pause afterwards. And if we weren't able to complete it, to trust that it will be a process of completion. And sometimes it just isn't in one day, but these cycles, these lunar cycles, are about a slow progress. Sometimes they are erratic and spontaneous and instant healing, and then sometimes it takes a longer healing to manifest. But trust that these emotions and these wounds and traumas are healed. Today, choose that they can be, and then continue asking for guidance on how to move and make peace with all that is. Because in our sky, in our mental world, we have reverse Emperor. And so this was actually the outcome to last week, to Sunday. So this full moon in Aries really changed our ego and our will and what we are showing up for in this life. And so when I talk about letting go of the ego, it's not about letting go of the actual identity of who we are It's letting go of the aspects and the associations to that identity. So we looked at these old beliefs of who we are and are willing to let go of them. And so we're kind of in this new form, in this new way of thinking, that we're no longer stuck in the old patterns. So it's kind of can feel a bit uncomfortable sometimes in our physical or emotional world when we're trying to attach to things that are no longer there. And we realize that all we can attach ourselves to is the here and now. And here and now is okay and is magical and is alive and breathing and vibrant. So remember that when we have great change of transformation, to just make peace and try not to rush too much into the future, and just keep asking for guidance from your true will, your true identity that is always connected to the divine. Because in the past we had reverse Four of Wands. So this was showing that we were a bit too serious this past weekend or last week. And I have to say that there was a lot going on, that this month has just been so much energetically, physically, emotionally pushing us to the edges of our world and seeing if we're going to jump in or if we're going to walk towards the horizon. And so it was reminding us that we need to let go and play more. And so I hope that we did find moments last week, especially during that full moon in Aries, that we were able to celebrate all that we have created in this life and really enjoying the people that are around us and that love us for exactly who we are. Because in our self-concept, we have Priestess of Wands. And so we are in the power of earth and water. And it is asking us to really just embrace the healing powers of these elements and trusting that we are being guided, that when we stand with our inner knowing of our convictions and we live from this abundant unknowing of how things will manifest, that we can truly just keep walking the path and being in connection with our divine source. And that means that we will never be led down the wrong path. But in our hopes and fears, we have reverse Ace of Discs. So probably with all this new change, there was some sort of project or gift that did not happen the way you expected it to. Or perhaps you didn't get the money that you needed. I know there was a lot of people going through financial surprises this past week, and also changing work. That Aries energy is so much about just like going for it. It's impulsive and it just says what it needs to say. And sometimes, well, that can leave us in a state of not being accepted for what's happening and just not having the patience to wait it out. And sometimes, you know what? What a gift that can be. So just be blessed for whatever happened and trust that the new work and the new money will come. Because in the future, we have reverse Two of Discs. And this is a good reversal because upright, this card is showing that we are trying to juggle two different projects. And because it's reversed, that we are tuning in to the one project, the one thing that we really want to put all our energy into. And when we put all our energy into one aspect, that is where we can find our true abundance. That's when we can ask for our value. And when we look, that energy is money. And then when we put all our energy into one big container, then that container can be filled with all that abundance. Because in the house, we have Three of Swords. So there's still kind of this active struggle or fight. We still have this energy in Aries. And we also are going to have this Mars in Capricorn midweek that's going to really make us kind of have some power struggles with authority, either in work or with ourselves. And so there might be a power struggle that is in our kind of home or environment and what we're dealing with on a daily basis. But remember, we're coming from our inner convictions. We know what we're capable of now, and now we have the strength to say yes and no to the things that are important to us. Because in the outcome, we have the Hierophant. And again, this is about knowing what is right and wrong. So that inner world that we've been experiencing is going to be supported by us becoming our own guru, that we are going to say yes and no to the things that are important for our world and for the world that we're wanting to create. So just keep trusting and following your feet that's guided by your heart, because that is the true way to know that you are on the right path. Hope this helps. Have an amazing week. And if you'd like a one-on-one or personal reading, contact me at www.innerdoorways.com. Have a beautiful day.